Greetings. Today is the exact Saturn Neptune conjunction, big moment we've been talking about and anticipating and thinking about its implications in the bigger picture, how it also fits into a bigger picture, a bigger context of meaning with of other alignments happening with the outer planets, a very recent solar eclipse in Aquarius. So, lots going on around this time, and the moon continues in Aries today. So, focusing on that theme of action and that spontaneity or that directness or that impulse to move on something, take action, do the things that you're feeling moved to do. I'm Marina Orms here with your Astro vibe for Friday, February 20th. And as we look at this, so the moment of the exact conjunction is just a few minutes before 9 o'clock a.m. Pacific time. But again, that moment, and they're within the same minute for hours. So it's really like it's not a minute where like some suddenly sparks fly or something happens. And in fact, thinking about the moment of an exact conjunction is really not so as significant as is the fact that you have a change in phase. So, what happens as Saturn joins with Neptune is it ends the phase of Saturn approaching Neptune. So, in astrology, we call that applying. It's applying to the conjunction. So, the faster moving planet, which in this case is Saturn, even though Saturn moves pretty slowly, Neptune moves slower. So, Saturn is catching up with Neptune. So, what happens when they have their exact moment of meeting is that that phase of the process of Saturn approaching Neptune comes to an end and a new phase begins. And the phase that begins, of course, is where they begin to separate. So, after they catch up or merge together or come together in this what we call this conjunction meeting in the zodiac. They are not, of course, meeting in the sky. That would be a whole different thing. But as we look out into the the wonder of the sky, really, we Saturn is closer to us than Neptune is. But what's happening is that they're coming together in the same degree of the belt of the zodiac. And so that's what we mean by a conjunction. They're not actually joining together, but they're coming together in the same point in the zodiac. So it begins a new phase of this process, which is a process. And the new phase is now the post exact conjunction. So we've been in the pre-exact conjunction for a couple of years, at least, depending on what you count. But certainly last year in 2025, they came within a few minutes, a fraction of a degree. Saturn came to really having that exact conjunction with Neptune, but not quite. And then they both went retrograde. And because Saturn moves a little bit faster than Neptune, as they both went retrograde, they started to move apart. So, so they came close, they moved apart, but they never met fully. So, what happens today is that we move into a new phase of this process, which is post Saturn Neptune conjunction. And of course, this is just one piece of the whole astrological landscape of what we can look at and talk about. But it's a significant one, and that's why we're talking about it for all the reasons and all the reasons we've talked about in my Emergence series, where I've brought guest speakers in to talk about this specific conjunction and what it means for our collective human evolutionary process, as well as our individual self-care and how we can think about participating in this process of change and evolution and whatever we want to call what is unfolding. So we move into the post conjunction phase, and this is where they begin to separate. They begin to move apart after the conjunction. So before that, we had an applying. The planets were applying to a conjunction, and now they are separating from that exact conjunction. So slowly, over time, they will move. Of course, they will be very, very close to each other for several weeks here, but slowly, they'll, Saturn will eventually, because it does move faster, begin to get ahead of Neptune. So what happens when we so that's what I'm getting at, is that it's not that there are fireworks that happen at the exact conjunction. It's that it marks a change in the phase. And so I don't know what the next phase will bring, but I think we can think of it as that we've had this experience of anticipating and working with this energy up until now, including when it got very, very close in 2025. So we've felt the pressure, we've felt the evolutionary pressure, which is the part where we feel, oh my gosh, um, something's not right. I have to make it right, or I have to do what I can, or right, that drive, that thing that feels like it's pushing inside of us to want to try to fix it, want to try to do what we can, that we don't like the direction things are going, and we want to um, steer or do what can I do is a big theme, right? And that is in part because these two planets are coming together in their conjunction at 0 degrees Aries. And 0 degrees Aries, as we've talked about with the guest speakers in the Emergence series, which you can find more about at transformationalastrology.com, is we have talked about that bigger picture of how at only only since now is the first time that these two planets have come together at 0 degrees Aries since uh, over 6,000 years ago. So so that in itself is noteworthy. But what is 0 degrees Aries? First of all, it's the beginning of Aries, and Aries is the sign of action, movement, initiative, pioneering, risk taking, courageous action, the need to be decisive, to do what needs to be done. So we have that welling up inside us that says, you need to do something. And so that is kind of the nature of the times we are in. Not only are they coming together in Aries, but they're coming together at 0 degrees Aries, which there are 4 points in the zodiac that are these really, they align with our equinoxes and our solstices. So 0 degrees Aries aligns when the sun is at 0 degrees Aries. That's our spring equinox. An important moment for our experience of being human on this planet, because that is literally the day when day and night are equal, and we switch, right, from the nights being longer to beginning to the days being longer than the nights. So it's that day in between where things are equal. Aries 0 degrees, Libra 0 degrees also. So that Libra 0 degrees is the fall equinox. And then, of course, we have the summer solstice and the winter solstice, which are 0 degrees Cancer and 0 degrees Capricorn. So those points, which are important to our human experience of being alive on the planet, this planet, right? This is very much like, you don't get this exact experience of day and night and seasons and everything anywhere else but here. So that those points are important and meaningful to us for, even if you don't want to quote unquote believe in astrology or mythology or anything like that, you can still feel that, right? That is a truth. It's a fact. It is a fact of our experience. So those points become significant and meaningful in astrology, and they represent turning points, right? The equinoxes and the solstices are turning points, and they come at the beginning of cardinal signs. Cardinal signs initiate, they begin, they steer, they are active, they are proactive, and they are experienced in the collective as a point or a time of needing to steer, of things shifting in the collective. They are really important points for mundane astrology, which looks at the astrology and the energy and the symbolism of countries, nations, kind of those world, bigger picture of the world and what's happening in the world. So not our personal experience so much, but more in the collective. That's mundane astrology, which is, it kind of informs what I do, because it's how those bigger picture energies, but it's how they impact us on that personal level. So world points, 0 degrees. Aries is a very important point for the collective. It is a point where we need to steer, where we need to choose, be decisive, decide what we want. So what's happening is that we are moving from before the conjunction to after the conjunction. The conjunction itself is happening at 0 degrees Aries. And when we move into this new phase of being after the conjunction, I think, I don't know what's going to happen, but I think it has that feeling of we've been working with this energy for quite a while. We've had the opportunity to see what's going on. We've had the opportunity to think about how we want to respond, what we care about, what matters to us, what choices we have, how we can act. All of those things have been part of our consciousness already, right? I mean, if you're paying attention, certainly that is the way it is. But after the exact conjunction, I think we're going to start to see energy move much more, and you've already seen that as we've gotten closer to this conjunction, things have sped up. So we're going to start to see more of that clarity, more decisiveness, more action, more things shifting and changing, not just thinking about change or wishing for change, but starting to see more of our impact and results, how our choices and our actions can bring actual results. So there's a difference between taking an action and feeling like it goes out into the void, like maybe it ripples out somewhere, right? Doesn't it kind of feel like that? So Saturn and Neptune in Pisces have been like that. It's been like, I hope my action is meaningful, right? Like, I hope my intentions and my clarity and the healing work I've done and all of that, I hope it's making a difference, right? But it just kind of like it just goes out into the void. And of course it ripples out. And of course it makes a difference, but we don't feel that immediate impact in the cause and effect sense, if that makes sense. So I think we're going to start to feel more cause and effect with shifting into the Aries energy and moving past the exact conjunction. More of that, like I took action, I could see that I was part of something that made a difference, and seeing that tangible sense of change, of impact, of result, of things happening because of our actions and choices and clarity and knowing who we are. So that only comes now out of the work we've done to get to this moment. So all of it, everything you've done up to this point has been hard, right? It's been really hard, but I think it will serve us well. Those of us who have been, doing our inner work and looking at some of the ways we need to change personally on the inside, our thoughts, beliefs, behaviors, all of that. And the work we've been doing has brought us to this moment equipped with what we need. And and it's spontaneous, this Aries energy. So you don't know when you're going to be called on to show up, to stand up, to speak up, to be courageous. But you're fortified with having taken care of yourself on that level to get to that clarity, so that you carry that clarity with you, and then you can be decisive in the moment when you need to. So that's kind of where we're at, and why we've been doing what we've been doing, what it might look like going forward. Of course, I don't know what it will look like in the exact sense, but we're already seeing um, things come out of the woodwork, right? Things, the light shining through the cracks, the opportunity to say, hey, I made a mistake, or, just seeing some of the ways that each of us has participated in some of the facade, some of the veneer of the world being the way it is, and the way some of that is cracking and breaking down. And we're having to look individually at our own ways we have been part of that, the choices we've made. Nothing wrong with it. We all had to fit into the world as it was, and we're moving into a new world now, and we may not have to fit in that same way anymore. So we just have more choices available to us. It's not about having messed anything up or getting it wrong or anything like that. It is about being present to the opportunities, the doors that are opening, the possibilities that are opening up before us, and the being available for those moments when we're called on to be who we are, to be authentic, honest, vulnerable, truthful, and courageous. And we have a world right now that is set up to push us through this threshold. So, so trust yourself, trust your own, healing process, because it will lead you exactly where you need to be. Take some deep breaths, connect with friends, build community, do art, right? Be creative, all the things that nourish your soul, because that will help you to be in the clarity you need to. It'll help you keep your batteries charged and your cup filled, so you can do this, whatever is coming, you can do it. All right. Thanks for being here. What a powerful and just important day. Thank you for joining me. You can, of course, learn more about this Saturn Neptune conjunction with all the amazing, amazing guest speakers I have been talking to, each one bringing a different angle, a different tidbit, awakening, insight, inspiration, clarity, each one offering us something, some tool to help us move through these times. So I think you'll love it. Transformationalastrology.com. You can find all the speakers there. So go see what you've missed. Go see what you want to go and hit the play button on and take in for now. Really powerful. And we have more yet to come, several more still coming for the rest of this week and into next week. And by early March, we will wrap up. So thank you again, transformationalastrology.com. Please support this work by getting a free account and a paid account if you can. That supports me to keep doing more of what I'm doing and to do this together. I so appreciate you. Thank you also for hitting subscribe on this YouTube channel. It makes a difference. I thank you, and I will see you next time. I'm here every day with astrology for unshakable self-care. Bye for now.